If you've been following NBA YoungBoy since he was 16, you know he's always had some of the cleanest style in the game. But today, we're taking a deep dive into his actual closet. We aren't just talking about your typical rapper setup with a few pairs of Jordans and some chains. We're looking at a collection that fans estimate is worth over $8 million. That is $8 million worth of drip sitting in one man's wardrobe. What's even wilder is that on top of the massive jewelry collection and high-end designer pieces, he just touched down in France. He was spotted front row at the Rick Owens show during Paris Fashion Week only weeks after his wife gave birth to his 13th child. It's crazy to think he went from the Cane Creek apartments in Baton Rouge to sitting at one of the most exclusive fashion events on the planet, acting like it's just another Tuesday. By the end of this video, you're going to see NBA YoungBoy in a whole new light. He isn't just a rapper anymore. He's a guy who has quietly put together one of the most impressive wardrobes in the history of hip-hop. Stick with me, because we are going through this man's collection piece by piece. I promise you, some of these reveals are going to leave you speechless. Let's dive in. Now, before we look at what he's rocking right now in 2026, we have to take a step back. NBA YoungBoy's style evolution is easily one of the most dramatic glopes in the history of rap fashion. If you don't see where he started, you won't truly appreciate how insane his current status actually is. Check this out. A few years ago, YoungBoy was all about that loud high-end streetwear. The daily rotation was strictly Amiri jeans, Dior bombers, Moncler puffers, and Jordans. And don't get it twisted, that is still an incredibly expensive wardrobe. A single pair of Amiri jeans will easily set you back $500 to $600. A Dior bomber or a Moncler puffer, you're looking at the $3,000 to $4,000 range. So even the old version of his closet was nothing to play with. But here's the important part. That era of his style, as expensive as it was, still fit the typical mold of what people expect from a successful young rapper. It was all about the brands the culture recognizes. High-end streetwear with luxury price tags, heavy chains, and Jordans. That was the standard formula. What he's doing now, however, is on a completely different level. And that shift is exactly why this closet story is so wild. But before we dive into his new era, let me break down some pieces from his earlier collection that were already insane. Items that are still in his closet and still hit different today. First up, the Dior X Air Jordan 1 South. Imagine owning a pair of sneakers where only 8,500 pairs exist in the entire world. I'm not even exaggerating. The 2020 Dior X Jordan collaboration was limited to just 8,500 pairs globally. On the resale market right now, these are going for over $10,000. That is $10,000 for a single pair of sneakers, and NBA YoungBoy has them just sitting in his closet like they're a pair of everyday Nikes. Honestly, that's just insane. No cap. Then you've got the Dior X Sorayama B24s, another high-level collab in navy and green. Those retail for over $1,000, and the resale value is even higher. Add in the Versace Chain Reaction Python sneakers, the Alexander McQueen Tread Slicks with the eyelet details, and the classic Balenciaga Triple S. This man's shoe wall alone looks like a SneakerCon exhibit. Fans online have literally said his closet belongs in a convention, and they aren't wrong. Now, let's get into the clothes, because this is where things really level up. His earlier rotation included pieces like the Louis Vuitton Damier Camo sweater and a Dior velvet bomber jacket. He even has the Dior X Sorayama robot logo turtleneck, which is one of the wildest pieces I've ever seen. It literally features a futuristic robot graphic. It's peak Dior, high fashion, and definitely not what you'd expect to see on a rapper coming out of Baton Rouge. Take a look at these Givenchy logo tape sweatshirts, the Moncler Canmore padded jacket, the Balmain B logo bomber, the Fendi striped sweater, and those Amiri grunge patch jeans. Are you guys seeing this? This isn't just a wardrobe. It's practically a designer fashion museum. Every single one of these brands charges at least $500 for even their most basic items, and he's out here stacking them like it's nothing. It's actually insane. Then, you've got the accessories. He was spotted with the Goyard Sinet GM pouch. For those who aren't familiar, Goyard is one of those exclusive brands that doesn't even bother with advertising. It's a if you know type of label. Their bags start in the hundreds and the prices climb fast. Yet he's carrying it around like it's just a plastic bag from a corner store. This is where it gets truly wild, because the 2025 and 2026 version of NBA YoungBoy's closet is on a level that has even the biggest fashion experts buzzing. By March 2025, he started stepping out in Rick Owens, and we're not just talking about a single piece. We're talking full looks. Rick Owens, GUS sunglasses, the Climb Adrenaline Pro GTX BOA boots, and even had two-toe Maison Margiela. Then he dropped the look that really made everyone stop. A full Louis Vuitton Damier Camo set. He had the head Tudo Damier camo matching perfectly. That's the kind of high-level fit that stylists charge celebrities $10,000 just to put together. And NBA YoungBoy just showed up in it. No cap? That's wild. Then, he added something to the rotation that really defines where his taste level is at right now. He started wearing a Fenner Atelier hooded shirt with the matching tailored trousers. Now look, Fenner Atelier is a boutique label. It isn't mainstream, and it's definitely not something you see every other rapper wearing. It's the kind of brand that signals you're actually doing your own fashion research, rather than just buying whatever a stylist hands you. The fact that he's rocking Fenner Atelier tells you that he, or someone in his inner circle, is locked into the fashion world on a level that goes way beyond just buying expensive clothes. Just think about that lineup: Rick Owens, Maison Margiela, and Fenner Atelier. These aren't the same types of brands as Amiri or Dior. We're talking about labels, usually reserved for Fashion Week regulars, art collectors, and people who actually follow fashion criticism, not necessarily the clothes you'd expect to see NBA YoungBoy wearing to the grocery store. But then, a specific moment happened that made everything official, proving this style evolution was a deliberate move rather than just an accident. On March 5, 2026, in Paris, France, NBA YoungBoy walked into the Rick Owens Autumn-Winter 2026 show. He showed up in an all-black fit, a studded leather vest, leather pants, fingerless gloves, chunky platform boots, and his signature shades. To top it all off, he was rocking a massive iced-out chain and pendant right over the look. His wife Jaslyn Michelle was right there with him, also draped in all black. As soon as they stepped in, every single camera turned toward them. Just let that sink in for a second. This is the same person who grew up in the Cane Creek apartments and was recording mixtapes at 16. Now, here he is in Paris for Fashion Week, sitting at a Rick Owens show and being photographed as a major celebrity guest. Honestly, are we surprised? Because I definitely wasn't ready for this. I really fans online went absolutely wild over the appearance. People were calling him and Jaslyn the best dressed couple at the event, with comments flooding in about how this is a completely different side of YB that no one saw coming. What's most impressive is how effortless he made it look, as if he's been walking these high fashion runways his entire life. Now, let's talk about the jewelry, because if you thought the outfit was a lot, the jewelry's on a whole other level. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that as of 2025, fans and experts estimate NBA YoungBoy's collection to be worth over $8 million. Once you start looking at the pieces individually, you realize how that number is actually possible. Let's dive in with the piece that's arguably the most iconic in his entire rotation, the NBA nameplate pendant. This piece alone is worth $75,000 custom-made. It features the NBA initials alongside a modified version of the Jumpman logo, except instead of a basketball, the figure is holding a gun. Below that, there's a plate that reads "Never Broke Again," with the entire piece completely iced out in diamonds. That's $75,000 for just one pendant, but that isn't even his most expensive piece. That title goes to the 38 Baby pendant. This is the one, $200,000. Let that sink in. $200,000 for a single chain and pendant. It features a diamond-encrusted monkey holding the 38 Baby emblem, a nod to his early mixtape days. To put that number into perspective, $200,000 is more than what most people in America earn in 4 years of full-time work. Yet he's just wearing it out casually. It's actually insane. Then, you have the Young Thug pendant, which cost $150,000. It's designed to show Young Thug smoking, and YB had it commissioned as a tribute to his fellow artist. Spending $150,000 on a piece dedicated to someone else shows both the level of loyalty and the size of the bankroll he's working with. Between just those three pendants, you're looking at almost $500,000, and we haven't even started talking about the actual chains yet. The chains in his collection are just as over the top as the pendants themselves. You've got the 4K tray chain, representing his crew, crafted with high-end materials and precious stones. It's a symbol of loyalty that also happens to cost an absolute fortune. Then there's the slat pendant, which features white emerald cut and round diamonds in bold block letters. It's designed without a bail, meaning it connects directly to a custom tennis chain, a design detail most people wouldn't even notice, but it makes the entire piece one of a kind. Next is the Gravedigger chain. This one is wild. It features a coffin, 2 rifles, and a bold 2K engraving. It's honestly one of the most theatrical and visually aggressive pieces of jewelry I've ever seen on a rapper. It looks like something straight out of a horror movie mixed with a luxury jewelry catalog, and YB just wears it out in public like it's nothing. Finally, there's the Broken Heart chain, where the pendant is literally a heart split in half. It's symbolic, connecting to the emotional side of his music and the themes of pain and love that run through his entire discography. It's the perfect representation of his brand. The same guy writing songs about deep heartbreak is wearing a broken heart around his neck that probably costs more than a car. No cap. The storytelling within his jewelry collection is actually wild when you look at it as a whole. But now, we have to talk about the watches, because this is where the collection enters a completely different universe. For years, the crown jewel of his wrist game was the iced-out Audemars Piguet skeleton. We're talking about a $200,000 piece, completely frosted, with a minimal face, no numbers. just notches for the hours. It's the kind of watch that doesn't even exist in most people's reality. The kind that immediately tells everyone in the room exactly who they're looking at. But in 2025 and 2026, he leveled up even further. He added a Patek Philippe Nautilus flyback chronograph travel time to his rotation rose gold case. Blue dial, reference 5990/1R001. To give you an idea of the scale here, the single timepiece retails for over $100,000. But it sells for significantly more on the secondary market. See, Patek Philippe Nautilus pieces aren't just watches, they're investment vehicles. These are the pieces wealthy collectors fight over at auctions. Wearing one says you aren't just rich, it says you understand what real wealth looks like. For some context, a Rolex, which most people see as the absolute peak of luxury, is actually several steps below a Patek on the prestige ladder. It's not even a close competition. Patek makes Rolex look like a standard fashion brand. And NBA YoungBoy is just out here wearing one casually. I kid you not. When this was finally documented, and fans started identifying the watch, people online lost their minds. Seeing a Patek Philippe Nautilus on a 26-year-old from Baton Rouge who started with nothing is a statement that doesn't even need words. So, let me bring this all together for you, because I want you to feel the full weight of what this collection actually represents. You've got $8 million in jewelry. You've got a shoe wall that looks like SneakerCon, featuring Dior X Jordan 1 South that go for $10,000 a pair. You've got full head-to-toe fits from Rick Owens, Maison Margiela, and Louis Vuitton. You've got a Patek Philippe Nautilus on the wrist. And then you have the man himself showing up to Paris Fashion Week in 2026. Like he owns the place. But here's the detail I respect the most. This isn't a stylist closet. This isn't just a PR team building an image. The proof of genuine taste is in the specific pieces he gravitates toward. Rick Owens isn't a brand that stylists push on rappers for easy placements. Angfan's Riches de Primes isn't a brand you just end up in by accident. And a Patek Philippe Nautilus isn't a watch you buy just because someone told you to. You buy it because you've been paying attention and you know exactly what it represents. These choices are personal. NBA YoungBoy literally told Complex that he knows nothing about fashion, but his closet is disagreeing with him in real time. This is a kid from one of the toughest environments in one of the most violent cities in America, who built everything from nothing, with no major label support starting out, no industry connections, and no family money. He turned that into an $8 million wardrobe and a front row seat at Paris Fashion Week. Whatever you think about his music or his personal life, you can't look at that closet and his journey without feeling something. That's the real story behind NBA YoungBoy's insane collection. It's not just about the price tags, but the distance he traveled to get there, and that's the full breakdown, gang. We've covered it all. The old era of Dior, Amiri, and Jordans, the new era of Rick Owens, Patek Philippe, and Paris Fashion Week, and that $8 million jewelry collection featuring the $200,000 38 baby pendant, the Gravedigger chain, the Young Thug pendant, and a Patek Philippe Nautilus that costs more than most people's houses. But yo, if you learned something new today, or if this video gave you a different perspective on what NBA YoungBoy has actually built, you've got to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is what we do. Here we go beneath the surface on the stories that actually matter in hip-hop culture. If you want more content like this, stay tuned because the next video goes just as hard. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.